There are three challenges in Hitman Freelancer that are going to take you months to complete. They are reaching level 10 in prestige levels, killing 500 syndicate bosses, and completing 100 campaigns. I'm not smart enough to figure out how to do 100 campaigns in less than 100 campaigns. Leave a comment if you figure that one out. Killing the 500 syndicate bosses would take 125 campaigns unless you cheat. I cheated. There was this one target in Dubai that I think I killed probably 75 times to get a lot of the challenges done. You know, tossing them off a rail, burning them alive, all those challenges. I could get to her quick. She was in an isolated spot. She was in the perfect spot to throw her off a rail and everything else. She was located right next to the door to a room nobody went into. It was just the perfect setup, and I took advantage of it to get a whole lot of my challenges done and to knock off. And each one of those 75 deaths counted because I'd restart the level every time after I killed her. So you can cheat on that one a little bit. With the prestige levels, that's a different story. Before I knew any of these tips and tricks, it would take me about 6 campaigns to collect all the items I needed to level up. With these tips and tricks, it can be done in 4, but there's a major caveat there that you have to qualify for before you can get it done in 4. Otherwise, it'll be 5. So it may only save you 10 extra campaigns if you don't qualify with that caveat. Tip number 1. Do not buy the DLC packs until you reach level 10. The one thing that is definitely going to slow you down and keep you from getting it done in 4 campaigns is having to buy those DLC guns. They do not count toward leveling up. You do not need them to level up. However, you're going to hit a point where every time you go to a vendor, the only guns offered to you will be the DLC guns. And you end up having to buy them to get to the guns you need. I was at the end of my 4th campaign. I was missing 6 guns with about 8 missions left to go. Plenty of time. I had plenty of money. I could easily bottom. The 6 guns I needed cost about $125,000, and I ended up with about $129,000 before I started buying the DLC guns because I knew it was hopeless at that point. But I just couldn't get offered those guns. So I complete every mission, make the money, and could not buy the guns. So that's the big caveat. If you want to get it done in 4, do not buy those DLC guns. If you've already bought them, sorry. You're going to have to do it in 5. Or maybe you'll be lucky and the game will offer them to you. It was not offering them to me. The second tip is it's all about the money. If you want to buy all those weapons, you're going to need the cash to do so. And you need to make it a priority to get every single Mercies you can out of every map. When I got into my 4th campaign and I had enough cash, I had been very good. I had maximized my objectives whenever possible. I had every single courier robbed them, every single safe, crack it open. Every time I went to New York, I robbed the vault. Every time I was in Mendoza or Santa Fortuna, I made sure to hit the bonus safe that are there that have Mercies inside for you. You have to make it a priority to get as much money as you possible out of every map. My goal was to get at least 10,000 out of every map. Was it possible? Not always. Sometimes there's no safes, there's no couriers. The objectives contradict one another. So, you're not going to do that. but you need to at least try. And I aimed for at least 10,000. And if it was New York, I aimed for at least 15,000 and hope for 20,000. But you're going to need a lot of money, so you need to make that the priority. The third tip is do not start with nothing. When you're completing your final showdown of the campaign and you know you're going to raise your level when you get back to the safe house, drop your favorite tool before exiting the campaign. At this point, your tool case should be full. So you want to make sure that the tool that's offered to you when you get back to your safe house is your favorite tool. And then you'll be able to take that with you on your first mission of the new campaign. YouTuber Jeremy the Wise was the first I saw that posted this trick. When you get back to your safe house, open your weapons crate, but do not take the money inside. Then go to your tool crate, open that. The favorite weapon that you dropped, from me, the Sicker pistol, should be there. Do not take it. Both crates are open. You have not taken it. Go ahead and level up. Watch all those weapons disappear. After they've all disappeared, you can go back to your weapons crate, pick up the money. It'll be 30,000. And because you're completing a campaign, you'll get a bonus 30,000. So you are now starting with 60,000 merces. Then go to your tool crate and take your favorite weapon. For me, the Sicker pistol. So now I can take that Sicker pistol with me on my first mission of the new campaign as I'm starting to rebuild my walls. The game also has a glitch, thank goodness, where in the collector's case of the melee wall, there's a coin and a lockpick. So you have a lockpick available. Now they're not going to be available on your first mission, but they will be available starting to use on your second mission. The safe house provides you with many tools that you can take on your first mission. For example, I use the wrench on every mission. It's my go-to distraction device and also my non-lethal melee device. I obviously won't have the handyman's wrench on that first mission, but there is a wrench in the garage that I can take with me. There's a rusty nail if you want to be able to pick locks, at least one lock. There's mushrooms if you're looking for an emetic or lethal poison. If you want a sedative poison, you can try your luck at the fishing game. I've had pretty good luck there, but I've heard some horror stories too about how hard it might be to get a fish. But those are all available to you. You can make a bomb in the garage. I mean, the safe house provides you with a lot of different materials, so there is absolutely no reason to go on that first mission without anything in your pockets. The fourth tip is that your first trip when you're starting a new campaign to rebuild your walls should be to the IO scale. There are two reasons. First, IO scale has more items that you can take back to your safe house than any other map. That has 17 items that you can take back. You're not going to be able to take them all back on one trip because a lot of them are very large, and you're probably not going to take all of them anyways because some of them are repeats. Like I don't ever get a baseball bat from IO scale, but it does have more items. But the real reason that you're going to the IO scale first is because it is the only map where you can have a guaranteed silenced pistol, which I need to knock out those pesky cameras. So that's my first stop. And I make sure I get that pistol on the first trip. The fifth tip is don't spend money on anything you can get for free. Common sense, right? It can be tempting early on when you don't have anything to want to spend $500 for a tool that would, save you some trouble. However, it's going to be close if you're going to try to get it done in 4 campaigns. As I said before, I got to the end. The guns I needed cost 125,000, and I had 129,000. And I had been very good at getting my money. I went to New York often. I went to Santa Fortuna often. I went to Mendoza often. I robbed those extra vaults and safes. I hit every courier. I cracked open every safe. And it was close. So you don't have a lot of room for leeway. So think how you'd feel if you get to the end of the 4th campaign, you're missing one gun, and you're 1,000 merces short of being able to afford it. And you have to do another campaign because of it. So do not buy anything that you're going to get for free, which is all your tool items and 36 different weapons that you can collect from the different maps. There's a total of 174 items in your toolbox and on your walls. 46 of them are available on the 19 different maps. 20 of those items only appear on one map. Some of them make no sense. For example, you can't bring back the lethal pills in New York, Whittleton Creek, or Colorado. The machete in Haven Island and Santa Fortuna, that doesn't come back either. If I was IOI, I might have gone for 47 items that you could bring back, but that's just me. The most bizarre one is the sawed-off Bartoli 12-gauge shotgun. That does not come back with you from Ambrose Island, but it will come back from you from Berlin. Same gun, spelled the same. I don't get that one. The Berlin gun is, for me, harder to collect. You have to be in the exact right position to pull it out from underneath Hirschmiller's desk. You can't put his disguise on and sit down like a meeting and kick the desk over so you can get to it easily. So you got to be in the exact right position to pull it out. So the Ambrose Island would be a lot easier, but unfortunately that won't work. So there you have it. 5 tips and tricks that can hopefully get you to get through this grind that is getting to 10 levels in prestige. A little bit easier, a little bit quicker. I have to admit that the first campaign after I've leveled up is actually my funnest. I really enjoy running around collecting all those weapons. I don't usually spend any money whatsoever. I don't want to take the chance that I'm going to pay for something I don't need to pay for. So that first 27 missions, about a campaign and a half, I'm just hitting every map, taking all the free items I can back to the safe house and letting the money build. I'm still trying to get as much money as I can. You have to maximize that money. Usually, after a campaign and a half, I'll have about 80 items collected between what I found on maps, what the tool crate gave me, what the weapons crate gave me after finishing the first campaign, and after what crates that I found on maps. Sometimes they got money in them and sometimes they've got weapons in them. So make sure you open up all those crates as well. And most of the times it's garbage, yes, but occasionally, especially early on, there's going to be something useful you can take back. So usually after 27 missions, I'll have about 80 items of the 175 or 174 collected and about 400,000 merces that I'm ready to go spend with. And if you can do that, then you'll be well on your way to getting it done in 4 if you don't have those DLC packs. If you were not that smart like me and you bought those DLC packs, I don't know, maybe you get lucky, but chances are it's going to be 5 campaigns.